Hi Riley, I've been producing for about 6 months. I think this series is really cool and like watching your videos so I can learn more. I think everyone should subscribe, like, and comment on this video actually. Wow, thanks man. I finished this trap beat, but I seem to never be able to have a good mix. Don't worry Nathaniel, I'm gonna fix your beat, I'm gonna fix your mix, and we're gonna talk about 5 things you need to stop doing in your beat. I get comments sometimes, people are like, hey, are you AI? No, I am not Allen Iverson. I think you should have your rhythm be a little bit more lined up, like a little more consistent here. Kind of match this, it just feels like it should be expected there. So what I want to do is I want to build this out a little bit more into chords. They can be broken up chords, but I just want something. Now the other thing I really want to do is I want to change this god-awful sound. I kind of get behind that. EQ this. All I'm doing there is just cutting out the low end, because it sounds a little dirty down there. What is this? I don't like this whole like overusing the same instrument. I'm gonna delete everything, I'm really sorry. Okay, you have these chords here that you're playing along with it. They don't really make sense anymore with what I'm doing. We're just gonna adjust to what I've got. Alright, we need to use better sounds. These sounds are not working. You can get free one-shots on Reddit or wherever, and they will work better for you. Then, you know what's really throwing me off with your entire melody is you keep trying to like switch up the rhythm. You're trying to do something different all the time with the rhythm. Why are you trying to mix it up all the time? Be decisive. Alright, what is this? That's kind of gross. Unless like we adjust it, I guess. Cool, that actually worked out. I liked what you did there. We're gonna keep it a little bit simpler because you keep throwing in all these patterns. It's really not that complex. Like making music is a lot simpler than it seems. Like how many bass line patterns? You have 4 bass patterns. What are you doing with all of these? And they're all so different. You have like the glide dedicated one. You got the bouncy one. You got the bass solo looking ass thing. And then you just got like the melodic one where you decide to play out of key at the end. You got some bells. Actually, we can work with that. We can work with it. You gotta get a little bit more comfortable with your volumes not being as crazy. Like you don't need your high end to be this loud. Layering is good, but sometimes you need to know when to stop. Like you need to know when maybe you're adding stuff just for the sake of adding stuff and not for actually intentional purpose. And it just feels like a lot of this is just like I could maybe understand a lead, but like why did you make an 18 bar lead? This is just random. What is the point of this? Is actually so random. Because you're trying to be saucy, we'll figure out how to use it. kind of went crazy on the end there. I'm not gonna lie. You did some cool things. I love when people experiment around like this. This is something you definitely should do more of. Just although it's weird and goofy and kind of questionable, keep experimenting, because that's how you're gonna come across these like really weird but cool things that you could maybe use in a way that you're not too sure of. All right, what are your bullshit drums? I looked at some of the things you were doing. Let me just show you. You have this thing here, sidechain channel, and you're probably like, oh yeah, he's sidechaining like a kick in 808, whatever, no big deal. No, I need to understand this. For some ungodly reason, you sidechained your hi-hat, snare, and accent snare to your 808. I don't get it. I do not get it. And what's so crazy is you had your snare sidechained to your 808, and the 808's hitting at the exact same time as your snare multiple times. I've never seen that. Let's just get a vibe with your melody. Catch a vibe. Let's see what's going on. Built like a rhythm. You kind of have some stuff going on. I want to build around that. Yeah, we can just do something really basic to get your spins hitting way better. What I want to do first and foremost is I want to put an envelope on here. I'm going to turn the hold all the way up and everything else all the way down. And the reason for that is that I want to extend these and I want to add a little bit more pizzazz, I guess, just a little something to give it a bit more bounce here and there. We can just throw in some accent. Now, aside from that, you had this soft clipper. I don't really understand what you were doing. So you turn the threshold to the max, and your 808's wasn't hitting that loud anyways. So let's just like put everything back to default. And now I'm going to go into your 808 and I'm going to turn it up a little bit more, because that saturation is what's going to give it that punchiness we want. It just feels like you put rolls in places where I don't think you should have. And the reason I don't think some of these rolls make any sense whatsoever is, for starters, you have this roll hitting on the exact time as your snare. It's like a very strong point. You're not really syncopating anything. Like, there's no purpose. So let's just like start with like a really basic two-step. Yeah, let's just give you a long ass roll here. Now, to build out your bounce, because this is definitely something you struggled with, is you want to build it around itself. For example, that little roll we put in there, we put it in like right here. This could maybe lead into it, but we kind of have a bigger issue where we want to lead out of it. And then that whole thing I was talking about with your snare hitting on the 3, this is going to be a really strong beat, so it's where your bounce is going to really come together. You'll hear exactly what I'm talking about. And if you want to add a little bit of extra bounce to your open hat, just kind of, you can do various things. You can shorten it by length, you can just shorten it in general. And the only reason I hate layering claps is because it just becomes a pain to mix. Like, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to accent this beat over this one, but it's like, why? Because when you're making a beat, you need to have intention with a lot of the things you're doing. Otherwise, you're just putting in sounds. It doesn't make sense. So we're gonna get rid of that. This is just, why are you doing this? I mean, I guess, but you don't need to do this. What I want to do here is I want to build into what you've got. So we're going to do like that, like typical high reverb, Fruity Love filter effect. And if you want to know how to use reverb with your 808, just the low cut, you don't want any of those low range frequencies with reverb. And we're going to automate these in. You were too worried about not having variation. Let's like just automate an effect of some kind. I don't know, halftime, that's basic. But really, at the end of the day, you just gotta get creative with it. Try something different effect wise, mix wise, sample wise, just do something a little different just to mix it up, because your melodies, your patterns, they don't have to be different for you to have some variation in your entire beat. By the way, all the information you need to know to submit your beats for these types of videos is down in the pinned comment, so check it out. Here's the beat.